Alright, it's the Art Monarch, and here today we're drawing a robot, or a mech. Well, not really, actually. About halfway through this drawing, I realized that it doesn't really look like a mech. So I turned it into a crane, some kind of machine that can pick things up. And obviously this isn't anything real that I'm drawing, it's just a customized little mechanism here. And technically, I guess it is still a mech, because what is a mech? It's a robot. It's where you can have a human inside controlling this large machine that might have turrets or weapons on the side. So really, a crane is a mech in a sense. So that's what I'm going to call it. It's a mech crane, which does have turrets on it. So it's a tank. It's a lot of different things, and little people can climb up the ladder on the back of this. So I'm just going to call this a secret hidden weapon, because let's say, for example, if you're on the battlefield and you have a bunch of vehicles, artillery, and tanks running straight at you, you don't suspect the huge giant crane has weapons on it. You see, it just looks like some kind of construction site going on, but actually it does have missiles and turrets on it. So I would say it's pretty useful in battle, and it does have some versatile features. As you can see, I did forget to add some helicopter blades. I could have done something like that, put some rockets on it, but that's for next time. That's the second model. This is the first model of this design, as you can see. And I did use a brown pigment micron. Gives it a rustic looking effect. I do have to imagine how scary this machine would be in real life, because it's basically 2 or 3 skyscrapers stacked on top of each other. That's a very large and massive machine with weapons on it. If you walk underneath it, you won't even be able to see the sun. In fact, the biggest issue that we've had with this machine is that it's very difficult to move. It takes hours and sometimes days just to go a few feet. So we have been working on the blueprints for a moving device. It's more of a stationary crane turret that we have here. So wheels, we've tried wheels, but they don't work. They just kind of explode and flatten. And we've also tried some different hovering techniques with jets, propulsion. But honestly, for now, we have not found anything in the Art Monarch studio that can lift this bad boy up. It's just too heavy and large. That's the problem with these huge machines, is that you build them, but you can't move them. They're just stuck there, no matter what you do. I will say this crane mech here is a very fun place to stay. We have hotels, casinos, stores, even vending machines. And on top of the crane, of course, you have the employees and people manning the missiles, sort of like an iron dome to protect the entire thing. And in the middle is where all of the people can go for a little vacation. On the bottom of this mech, we have the coal, the energy production going on. And so it's a very functional place we've got going on here. And believe it or not, taking a ride on the crane mech is free. It's completely free. And once you get on the mech, there's no getting off. Sadly. Unless you like the mech, then that's great. But if you just want to go on a little vacation, I'm sorry. You can't leave forever. You're stuck on this. But it is a very large mech, so you shouldn't have too much of a problem with it. We have food, everything you can imagine inside, basically. So we bring in supplies and everything on the bottom half of this. So I guess we're running a utopian society in this mech here. But you can't leave, so in that sense it's a dystopian mech. You can't leave, but everything is free, so that's good. I would trade that. If everything's free, then you might as well just stay in there. Hey, there's windows, okay? You can see outside. And there's fresh air constantly being pumped in, so really it's just a fine place to be. And we do have artificial trees, places, the beach. Okay, you can go to the beach. It's similar to Willy Wonka's chocolate factory, where you have chocolate rivers and waterfalls. Everything outside on Earth is built into this mech. But that's about all we can talk about right now. We don't want to say too much about what's inside of this giant crane mech. We don't want to get you too excited, or you might just not go. Look, if you really want to get out of this mech, I do know a guy who has a couple of rockets. He launches them weekly, and you can escape in the back of the cargo ship that launches to various other planets. So that's a good way out. There are also a few holes and tunnels that you can escape from on the first floor that people have dug, and I'm not supposed to talk about that, so if you do see my captain, do not tell him that I told you. But anyways, that's all we have here for today on the tour of this giant crane mech. That's all I can say. If I talk any more about the ship, I might be executed. So, I like this drawing. It was pretty fun. Especially the top of it with all of the wires and different steel beams sticking out. So, it's a fun drawing. Great, productive day full of drawing. I'm currently working on some more weapons of mass destruction. This is just the first, okay? We've got a lot in store for you. And so does the mech. If you enter, you're not leaving. So it's a hard decision to make. It's very difficult at first, but once you truly see how great the mech is, you might not want to leave at all.